Hello guys, what is up? It's your boy Spooky Noodles, aka Nicholas Gray, author of such books as Gray Matter, Gray's Anatomy, Halloween Stories or Tales or whatever it's called, and the other book. I am here to talk about book mail. Today we have two books, and these two books are pretty cool sounding. And I really like the covers, so I bought them. So yeah, strap in. We are going to talk about two books, and then we will be done with the video. Should be a quick one, but we'll see. I got stuff to do, so yeah. Anyways, first book we have here is one I'm already started. Yeah, I got my bookmark in there with my knife. This is Yuletide Invasion by J.C. Moore. Ain't that cool? Yeah. So far, the story itself is, how do I put it? It's kind of a little bit everywhere at once. Meaning that, that doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, guys. I've only read 2 chapters so far, so this book can totally, like, reclaim its original excitement I had for it. But, so far, it reads a lot like a fantasy book so far, even though I know it's not fantasy at all. Just like, it's like once upon a time, you know, it's just like a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Cheesy, I guess, at times. And the characters don't have any, like, I don't know. I'm not digging the characters yet, and the way they talk with each other is just kind of weird, if you will. And then, there's, like, this thing where they keep uncorking a wine bottle or something, or, I forget what it is, but they keep uncorking this thing. I'm like, why don't you just leave the cork off? Why you gotta keep corking it and then uncorking it if you're just gonna take another sip right afterwards? You know what I'm saying? So there are some issues I have with the book so far, but Yuletide Invasion is going, like, right now I'd give it 3 stars if it were to end right now, but I've only read 2 chapters, so that doesn't really say much. But I would get it just for this cover alone. This cover looks really cool. But I will read you the back of the book, and then you guys, if you want it, you can go get it. Sorry I talked so negatively about it in the beginning of this video, but it is going to be a good book. I know it's going to be a good book, because it hints that a lot of people are going to die. So I'm looking very forward to seeing how these people die. Obviously, there's going to be aliens involved, which is my favorite part. If you don't know, there's this book called The Visitor by Sergio Gomez, I believe his name is. And that book is my favorite Christmas themed book that I've ever read. But it's also really good alien abduction story. Well, not abduction story, but just aliens taking over a bar, you know? It's really good. This one is aliens taking over this small store, so, you know, it's basically the same thing. So I have high expectations for this book because I've read that book. But we'll see. I think I need to lower my expectations just a little bit. But this book, I know is going to be a good book. I know it's going to be probably 4 stars. Right now, it's a 3-star just because we got off to a rocky start. But the next chapter hints at being pretty good. So I'm going to keep giving this book a chance. It's only, geez, this book is only 68 pages, so it's like almost like it could be a novelette. It's so short, but I think it's a novella. But very short book, and I'm gonna keep reading it until I finish it. So yeah, I do have a lot of stories to read because of the new anthology that I'm producing with Brian Barry. So, yeah, my reading for actual books might come to an end soon, to end this year. I'm gonna actually spend, like, the first 4 months reading short stories for that anthology, so you might not see me come on here with reviews that often, but I do have a backload of reviews I need to record, so maybe that what I just said is a false statement. Now that I think about it. But yeah, overall, I'm really enjoying my reading sessions. I finished Undertaker's Moon, and I finished Brian Barry's Birthday Bloodbath, which I really liked both of them. The Werewolf Story is my second best book of the year. The only book ahead of Undertaker's Moon is Sightings by Mark Lukens. Mark Lukens' Sightings is just so freaking good. It's so good. I loved it so much. It's my favorite alien-themed abduction story to date. So, yeah. Visitor, though, is a close second. I really like Sergio Gomez's Visitor. But anyways, we're going to move on to the next book, and the next book is Lurk by Adam Vine. Got it mostly for the cover. I don't actually know what this is about, so let's read into it, shall we? Some secrets should stay buried. College student Drew Brady never wanted the power to spy on his friends. But late one night, he finds a box of old Polaroids buried under his house that can change to show him whatever he desires. I think the change was... that wasn't a complete sentence right there, but let me continue. And Drew finds himself with the power to watch the people around him without them even ever knowing. Yet, as Drew falls deeper into the rabbit's hole of jealousy and despair, he begins having strange visions of the students who lived at the house 20 years ago, and the gruesome fates they met after moving out. He finds evidence of a stalker who may be living on the property. The line between reality and nightmares blurs. Drew realizes there is something under the house that is manipulating him through the pictures. An eldritch, not quite dead thing that will drive him to do unspeakable evil if he doesn't look away. A blistering page-turner, Lurk is horror unlike you've ever read. And I really do like this cover. You might not be able to see it well because it's a glossy cover, which I love glossy covers. They look better to me than they do these plain matte covers or matte covers, whatever you want to call them. But these are better to see on video, so take what you will. This is Lurk. This book is pretty big, coming in at 293 pages. 293 pages, and the font is is like normal to a little bit smaller than normal. So this is a big book. But anyways, those are the two books I got. I'm sorry if it sounded like I was trashing my current read. Yuletide Invasion is gonna be a good book. I know it will be a good book in the end. I'm just a little worried. I'm on page 19, and it's been a little bit of a rocky start. So we'll see how this one finishes. Obviously, I have a lot of pages to go. I'm not going to do the math, but I'm going to say it's like around, like, let's see. Okay, I guess I'm doing the math now. I guess 44 pages left or something like that. I don't really know. So... I got some pages left to read, and I'm a slow reader, so I take my time. I also started Nightboat by Robert McCammon. That's on audio. I don't think I'm really gonna go far with it. At the time when I was trying to look for an audiobook, I was like, well, this one's good. It sounds good, so let's play that one. But even though the narrator's great, I don't really feel like reading Robert McCammon at the moment. There's a specific mood I have to be in to read Robert McCammon, So, yeah, I have to be like in that wondrous, wanting a Stephen King type of read without reading Stephen King, So I feel that way. I go towards Robert McCammon. Because I like Robert McCammon, and I've already read a lot of Stephen King stuff, and... let's just say, Stephen King, for me, he's still one of my heroes, obviously, and, he writes some really good stories, but I'm more leaning towards extreme stuff at the moment. So, and I don't mean like extreme horror. I just mean something a little bit more bloody, you know? I want like a slasher flick, like a B-rated slasher flick, like Blood Rage or Maniac. You know what I'm talking about? So I just want a bloody good time, and that's what I'm getting from these Brian Barry books lately. And even Undertaker's Moon had some pretty gruesome scenes in it. So, you know, I can see why Ronald Kelly won a Splatterpunk Award. Even though I can't imagine him winning a Splatterpunk Award. It's just crazy in my head. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Ronald Kelly. I got a whole shelf of Ronald Kelly. I know you can't see it, but this thing right here is a bookshelf. And the top row is my favorite row because it has every signed book by Ronald Kelly up there, except for his 3 chapbooks. And I think I'm missing, if I'm not mistaken, I'm missing his memoir. So I need to read that or get that one too. But basically, that shelf is full, you know. It even has 2 pictures that Ronald Kelly made for me, you know. So one I think might be a print, but the other one is definitely a drawing. So, and I got that drawing tattooed on me, so, you know. And I'm actually, don't tell anybody, guys. I think I can trust you guys to not spread the word like a rumor gossip little gang. But I'm getting another tattoo right here. And it's going to be an Undertaker's Moon related tattoo. And now I'm thinking about maybe getting another tattoo right here. I can't really cover these scars, so I have to like do something that enables them to be with the tattoo. So this part of my arm's kind of taken, but I have some room like on my forearm right here maybe. I don't know, but I want to get a Bloodkin tattoo as well because I really like Bloodkin by Ronald Kelly. And I can't imagine getting a Father's Little Helper tattoo, but if I did get a Father's or a 12 gauge by Ronald Kelly, if I got a tattoo for that book, it would probably be the kid with the shotgun. That book is actually really good. If you find Father's Little Helper in the paperback form, like I read it, or you can listen to the audiobook, or you can find 12 gauge. That book is one of my favorite winter reads. Right behind, I think right in front of it is Chills by wow, what was his name? It's dodging me at the moment. Riccatala. Chills by Riccatala is my favorite wintertime read. But right under it is Father's Little Helper, aka 12 Gauge by Ronald Kelly. That book was fabulous. I love that book. It blew my mind, quite literally. I really had a fun time with that, and the whole time in the book you're wondering, is this kid just crazy, or is he actually hearing the ghost of his father tell him to go kill a bunch of people? It's crazy, you know? And I don't think you exactly get an answer at the end. I can't remember. But I don't think you get an answer, which is awesome. You know, I like being left in the dark sometimes with these stories. It leaves you with a ever-gnawing question, like, was it real or was it not type thing, and I love that. Ronald Kelly does an amazing job at writing stories that you just get invested in. Undertaker's Moon it does not shy away from that. I actually listened to the audiobook, most of the audiobook. I actually started reading on my phone. I had an e-copy, even though I have 2 copies of the book on my shelf. I listened to the audiobook, but I was reading the ebook or on my phone on Kindle. And I got to chapter like 3 and I changed over to the audiobook, which I did not think I was going to like because it's narrated by this guy. I think his name is like J. Rodney Turner or something like that. I forget what the narrator's name is, but at first I didn't think I liked his voice because it reminds me of a Drew Blood from Chilling Tales of Dark Nights. And I'm not a big fan of Drew Blood's, even though I know he's a great narrator and I would do anything for him to narrate one of my stories, which I would listen to. But he's just not my favorite narrator per se because he's got that gravelly voice and sometimes I can't understand what he's saying. And that's just a me problem, honestly. He's a great narrator nevertheless. It's just, I just can't understand what he's saying sometimes. So with the speed that I go with on Audible, I go at a 1.5 speed, which is just a little bit faster. You know, they just talk a little bit faster. They talk like I do. So that's what I'm used to when I have my conversations with my family. We talk really fast. At least my mom's side does. So I put the speed up a little bit, and with the narrator that for Undertaker, I didn't think it was gonna work with that gravelly voice he has, but it worked out tremendously well. It worked out so well. I ended up really enjoying the narration. I know you didn't expect that to go there, but I really enjoyed the narration for Undertaker's Moon, and it ended up being my second, I think, favorite. Yeah, second favorite Ronald Kelly book. It's like a three-way tie, really, but for second, because you have Father's Little Helper and Bloodkin. You know, both of those books are at par with each other, and so is Undertaker's Moon now. It's a three-way tie for second. You know, it's just those three books: Undertaker's Moon, or Moon of the Werewolf, Bloodkin, which is still Bloodkin, or you have 12 Gauge, aka Father's Little Helper, or the other way around. And those three books are tied with each other. As you know, the first one, number one on this list, is of course, Fear by Ronald Kelly. Nothing beats that book for me. It's my favorite book of all time. There's only one book that even comes close to it, and it's not that close. It's like a mile away. But the book that comes close, I guess, is Richard Lehman's The Traveling Vampire Show, because I read that one before Fear, and I enjoyed it a lot. So, yeah. But Fear is just number one. Fear blew me out of the water. It had everything in it. It dealt with racism. It dealt with having a father that came back from the war. It had cancer. It just had everything. And I was going through a hard time while reading Fear, and it ended up well, I'm gonna say it saved my life in a way. Um, I really enjoyed it, and I think everyone should read Fear. I think it should be a staple for coming of age stories. Every time someone talks about a coming of age story, they gotta talk about Fear. That's what I want to happen one day. Like when they talk about Stephen King's The Body, or Stephen King's It, or Dean Koontz's The Voices, or Voices of the Night, you know, or whatever the book was called. Uh, which is another good book, by the way. The Voices in the Night, I think it's called, by Dean Koontz. Really good book. I think it's in my top 10 favorite coming of age stories of all time. I've read about a good amount. Like, I think I've read 22 coming of age stories, maybe 23. And I got a whole shelf of coming of age stories where I haven't even read yet. Fear is not on that shelf because Fear goes in the Ronald Kelly shelf. I kind of went back and forth, tried to see where I liked Fear to be, because I like all my coming of age stories together, but I like all my Ronald Kelly books together. So I had to decide, do I want to just buy two books, like two Fears, and have them in two different places, or do I put the Fear book up on the top shelf with the Ronald Kelly books? And that's what I ended up doing, and I might go and buy an extra Fear copy to put in the coming of age shelf, maybe a reading copy, because I do intend to read Fear again one day. I have the audiobook for a second read, but if I ever want to read the paperback again, or give it to somebody, lend it to somebody, I can do that with Fear. So I might need to get another copy of Fear, basically, is what I'm saying. But yeah, Fear is my favorite coming of age story of all time. It doesn't get close, like there's nothing really that close to it, except for The Traveling Vampire Show would be the closest, and that's not even that close. So yeah. But that's besides the point. I don't even remember what I was trying to make a point for, but I kind of got a little sidetracked, if you will. But yeah, Undertaker's Moon was great. Father's Little Helper is one of the best wintertime reads you'll ever read. It's just so much fun, and I can feel the crunching of the snow underfoot, you know? It was just so much fun. But Chills by Rick Atala is the best wintertime read, and the weather has to do with the story, you know what I'm saying? So I really did enjoy that book. Um But anyways, yeah, Yuletide Invasion, Lurk, J.C. Moore, Adam Vine. Those are the 2 books I got today. Well, not today. Actually, these have been accumulated. I know I have a, a signed book coming from 2 different authors, so 2 signed books coming. And then I have The Sucking Pit by Guyan Smith is supposed to arrive, but it's taking its precious time. I ordered it in, I think I ordered it at the end of October, and it still hasn't gotten here. And I know UK takes forever to get here, but I feel like this is a little bit longer than expected. So, I'm a little nervous that it got lost in the mail or something, but I really wanted that Guyan Smith's Sucking Pit, you know? I really wanted that book. We'll see if it still comes, but that was a book I really wanted to read, especially at the time. I just got done reading a book, and it reminded me of Aftershock by Robert W. Walker. And I loved Aftershock. Aftershock was such a good book. I loved it a lot. It had to do with the California earthquakes and the one I think that knocked down some of the freeway pikes or whatever you call those. The big bridges that go under each other and stuff in LA. You know, the traffic zone. So yeah. It had to do with that, those big earthquakes that happened back in the day. I forget when it was, but the book's written in like the early 90s at the latest. So it had to have happened in the late 80s, early 90s. I don't remember, but I wasn't really there because I was born in 93. So, and I'm an old motherfucker. I'm 29 now. Can you believe that? I'm 29. People still call me kid and stuff because I look a little younger than I should be and I act a little younger than I should be. But, you know, that because of the brain damage when I was a baby and I didn't learn how to talk until I was like 3. So, but anyways, I forgot where I was going with that. Aftershock is a really good book. It has to do with California earthquakes. I've been to California. I lived there for 5 years. So, you know, I know a little bit about California. Not enough, but, you know, enough. But, yeah, those California earthquakes were a big problem. And they even think that California will sink under the ocean one day. That's a big fear there. But anyways, I read a book like Aftershock, which reminded me of Aftershock. And where was this going? I don't even remember where this is going. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm a little out of it, if you haven't noticed. I am running out of Adderall, which is scaring me because there's a nationwide shortage, which means I'm going to be hella unfocused soon, which is probably, I'm probably already getting ready for it because I'm already starting to feel the effects, even though I haven't. It's just a worry in my pit of my chest and stomach. Like, I feel like as soon as I lose that Adderall, I'm not going to be able to pay attention and I'll lose my job or some weird, stupid shit like that, you know? But that's the fear, at least. But I'm just looking right now, and it looks like the low definition version of my video game playthrough of Stay Out of the House is almost up. I just realized I spelled Stay Out of the House wrong. I capitalized of and the, which you're not supposed to do. Okay, there we go. Anyways, I have a gameplay of that. It's like 40 minutes long of me just going through this game and not knowing how to do things. It's really probably not worth the gameplay, but not worth the view. But there is a funny part near the end where I get jump scared really badly and my dog freaks out and runs out of the room. I'm like, oh, I get scared so my dog abandons me. I just thought that was funny. And I think it shows in the video, I think. Lou's chilling out right behind me, so, you know. But, yeah, that video's almost up. and then I'll probably finish making this video and I'll post it afterwards. Obviously, it will be posting afterwards because I'm still recording while the other one is uploading right now to YouTube. Actually, it is 93% processed. So, yeah. That was the year I was born, 93. Well, 1993. A little bit, like a 1,000-year difference between those two numbers, but it's okay. No, not even 1,900 years. You know what? I'm stupid, guys. Just don't judge me, please. But yeah. This book will be a good book. I'm sorry for dissing it a little bit. I'm just telling you my feelings as a purchaser of the book. I bought this book, so I should be able to judge it a little bit for fair reasons, you know. But I don't like doing that to books. I don't like shitting all over books because, for one, that's messy and gross. Two, I don't like making the author feel bad because I know how much they put into these books. You know, I'm an author myself, so I understand what goes into creating these books. And it's a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and heart, and brain, and all that stuff. So, yeah, it takes a lot to publish a book, and I don't like crapping all over someone's work, you know. But that's just me. I did do that today, and I feel a little bad about it already, but, you know, that isn't here nor there. And it looks like this low-definition version of Stay Out of the House gameplay is up on my channel. So you guys can go check that out. And I hope you guys are having a great day, because I'm going to end this video now. We're already at 26 minutes of me just chatting like crazy, going on tangents here and a tangent there, tangent here, tangent there, tangent almost everywhere. Bye, guys. Bye, guys. Just have a spooky night. You know, bye.